What's up, you guys? This is Fang /VA here, coming at you with a real talk video. And I've been trying to figure out what to record for this first video, but I think I need to get the big one off my chest. I think it's time to address exactly what I've been going through. And I had a video already planned out for it, but because of how much I bursted into tears in that video, I just was not ready to put it out yet. But I think I am now ready to talk about it. It has gotten more easier for me to talk about the lack of my mom being here and how much it has affected me. So I'm not going to promise you I won't cry. I might cry. So just for some of you that don't know what exactly happened, I lost my mom 2 years ago, October 31st, 2023. It was on Halloween. It happened early Halloween morning. Both me and my dad were the last ones to say goodnight to her. I came down to go use, you know, to do one last thing before I went to bed and make sure that the lights were off and the front door was locked. I peeked into my mom's room and she didn't have the blankets on. I thought that was strange. She always had blankets on. Thought nothing of it. I thought that she just went to sleep and maybe she would have pulled them on her. Well, what was strange of when we said goodnight to her, she was already weak. She was talking really soft. There was a point that I had to literally had to hold the phone to my mom's head, and she was trying hard to stay awake. And for a week there, or might have been 2 weeks, I don't remember. That whole from when she got sick and from when we passed just felt like a blur to me. Um, um, she was talking extremely softly to the point that my dad could not hear her on speaker because unfortunately my dad doesn't have good hearing. Um, and another oven at the time. And like I said, I came downstairs, thought that it was weird that she didn't have the blankets off, and I do believe I had red flags going up, but I didn't check anything. I didn't check on her and all that, and to be honest, it's probably a good thing. Maybe someone was helping me from not doing that or something. And around 9 in the morning, I got woken up suddenly, and I heard this sound coming from my sister. Now, to me, it sounded like laughing. The problem is with when we cry, we have two different cries. There's one where it sounds like we're laughing, and then there's other ones where it sounds like, your typical crying. In this case, it was her laughing one. And I was starting to get worried because it kept happening. And I think part of me already knew something happened. I just didn't know what. And it actually woke my dogs up. So she came into my room, told me that she passed away. And of course, too, right? I just woke up, I'm groggy, and I hear those words, and I was like, "What?" And then she repeated the words again. She hugged me tightly, and then she had to go downstairs, and I had to get myself. I was trying to process everything then, and breaking down, crying, and I had the boys, my dogs, comforting me. Went downstairs. I think I hugged my dad. Um, at that point, the EMT person already left. Um, and we were waiting for the funeral home to come get her. And then finally we had our reunion with one of my sisters. Well, the only sister I had nothing to do with for the past decade because of family drama. And I had no strength to be angry. I was just glad she was there. Her family was actually the ones that was helping us eat. And so before I came downstairs, I forgot this part. I let Mizu know, and then I told the server eventually, well, my Discord server eventually, that I was going to be taking some time off. Um, and then I said what was actually going to be my final goodbyes to her. Um, I used to talk to her a lot, and I would sit in this spot, and that's what I did. I took her hand in mine, and I, said goodbye to her and all that. And what really freaked me out was that the same exact pose she was in was the same exact pose that she was in when we said our final goodnights to her. Then the funeral home came to get her, and my dad was the one that took her body out of the house. And that was it. Slowly but surely, all the family came over, and ironically enough, my brother-in-law had to go up to back to his house to grab some stuff, so I rode with them, which was bizarre because quite literally a month before I was there, and I was just in a daze. I felt like I was in a bad dream, and that's the only way I can explain it. And they got stuff going, and then the viewing came, and this next part is going to be. I'm gonna try my best not to step on anyone's shoes or make a big deal of things. It is what it is. Things happened the way they did, and I can't be angry anymore about it. Even though anyways, let's get right to the next part here is that when we had the viewing for my mom, I got very little sleep. Um, I think at that point I was already on the verge of basically slipping back into eating a lot and staying up late. Um, Fortunately, I've gained weight. I've gained a lot of my weight back that I lost, and I have my doctor completely frustrated with it, even though he should know what grief can do to someone. I'm not a robot, but I have every intention on getting this weight back down. Um, Not only that, trying to also keep doing my services like my behavioralist and my music therapy when I didn't really freaking want to do it anymore, if I had to be honest. But when you're going through grief, it does expose a lot of truths. Expose a lot of truths that you were already aware of, and expose some new truths. And that truth is that calling myself a black sheep is very accurate. At that view, and I had no one there to support me. I had no one. Zip, nada. And even though I know that, I didn't exactly tell people when the viewing was, well, that's all I'm going to say. It's amazing when you're in that situation that makes you really kind of go, hmm. It has definitely changed my perspective on people. It definitely has. I was always cynical about friendships, even before my mom passed. Um, Mainly because of not just self esteem reasons, but also because of things that I experienced. Um, I never quite understood why there was people that was impacted by my life positively and vice versa. That I was positive, I was impacted by their life positively. And during that viewing, when you're in that grief, right during that first week, and people that understand will know exactly what I mean by this. You start looking at things a little bit more differently. And it really brings out a lot of truths. However, despite all that, it's not something I think about often. I'm no longer angry about it, because I know that there are people that do care about me. And unfortunately, the fact of the matter is, I didn't tell everyone about when the feeling was because of the fact that, I had this life changing event, especially with how autism works, right? Like, humans don't like change regardless, even if they're uh, neurotypical, aka normal. But for a autistic person, it's like it becomes a lot more bigger. So not only was I trying to wrap my head around the fact that, oh, mom's, my mom's gone. I have no one to talk to. I have no one in my corner. I can't talk to her. I can't joke around with her anymore. I can't scare her with my masks anymore. I can't. She's gone. But also dealing with the different stages of grief. The denial, the anger, all this other stuff. It's been a tough 2 fucking years, and things have not calmed down. It feels like it's not only have I been dealing with the grief stuff, I've been dealing with stuff, like some minor family stuff. Um, I've been dealing with, trying to get myself back on my 2 feet, getting this fucking weight back down to where I need it. And it's been a struggle. And that's why I get so frustrated sometimes when I can't do my YouTube job. Because I know that the one thing that could help me a lot is if I could just do that, do this constantly, not taking breaks unless I need it. And that's another thing too, right? Is that a lot of the breaks I took, I did not need to do. There was no reason for it. So I do know I'm going to try my best to finish what needs to be done in the room that my desk is going to go up in. And then I should be back in order. I'll just need to order myself a new professional mic. But I'll just be happy to be able to record on my computer again. I just know that there's going to be a shit ton of updates. Oh my god. I'm not looking forward to it. Unfortunately, the people, you that could be watching this right now, eventually is going to have to go through this. And I really do hope that a lot of you have a good relationship with your parents. I don't want to know what grief is like for someone that doesn't have a good relationship with their parents. Because I don't know what that feels like. I don't want to know what that feels like. No offense, because I have a great relationship with my parents. Yes, there are times I don't listen to them, but that's just how typical kid, you know, that's just how it is. And to all the people out there that wants to talk about moving on, I'm not moving on from this. I don't want to move on. If I stop feeling this hurt, it just means that I guess my mom must not really mean anything to me then. No, my mom, she helped me the most out of everyone to get to where I am today. My parents are my heroes. They taught me so much. They taught me never give up. When there's a will, there's a way. If you get knocked down, you get back up. They've taught me a lot about how I go. A lot of the way I do things is because of them. And I'm no longer afraid of death because I was never afraid of death. I was afraid of losing my mom because I didn't know if she passed away, would I regress and start having my anger come back at full force. And I'll be honest, there's been some close calls here and there. but I managed to have control over it. Losing her was my greatest fear. But now that I'm going through it, I have accepted my own mortality. I'm not afraid of it. I'm not. When that time comes, and this is the only time that I'm going to be mentioning religion on my channel, but when the time comes that God sends whoever He sends to come get me, I'm looking forward to seeing the people that I've lost again and people I never got to meet, or the people that I wasn't close to in one life. Maybe I'll be close to them in another life, like my older brother. Assuming, of course, he goes. Assuming, of course, he goes. He goes before me. But let's not talk about that one. It's it's not fun to go through this, you guys. It can warp your views on things. It can make you realize truths that you didn't want to believe. But as long as you have good people in your life that can support you and you can support them through this, and as long as you keep doing your hobbies, as long as you keep living, keep doing the traditions that you, when that person that you were close to did, it will help. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you that the first time doing those things isn't going to be hard. It is hard. I had to make one of my favorite dishes that my mom made, although it was a collaboration between me and my sister. But it was our first time making that, and it tasted exactly like the way that she made it. It brought so much comfort, but it just was another reason why I wish she was here. So I'm not going to sit here and do all the spill that some people are going to tell you about how, oh, you know, you'll move on. No, you won't. You'll learn how to manage your grief, and eventually that pain will become a scar. But it will never fully heal. You're going to be seeing reminders of that parent you were close to. I see reminders. It's bittersweet seeing a mother and a son out. It's bitter. It hurts seeing Mother Day stuff or anything that deals with mom, no mother anything. And in my head, when I do see a mother and a son enjoying themselves out, doing whatever that they're doing, there's that part of me that's like, you guys better hold on tight to that memory, because all my memories of my mom is the only thing that I can remember herself. Well, remember her by, and plus the voicemail on my phone and the pictures I have of her and the videos. And I was debating if I should talk about this on video, but I think I think it's okay for me to. My mom's side of the family has these gifts. Some of us has foresight, able to dream events that are going to happen, or me I can see spirits, and I can actually read aura. Now, for all you people that are gonna sit there and tell me, "Oh, bull crap, that's all smoke." Listen, I'm not gonna convince you. I'm not gonna convince you, but don't sit there and act ignorant when there are things out there that you can't explain. Anyways, so maybe keep those thoughts to yourself. Um, but probably the biggest lesson I learned from this is you just gotta keep living. There are so many people out there that stop doing traditions just because they're either not the same anymore or they haven't been the same or whatever reason it could be. Now, naturally, some of you are going to be like, well, are you talking about people that you know? No, I just know how humans are. And I also know that because, and I hope she doesn't mind me talking about this, Mizuki mom um, passed away back in 2016. And it's after that, they just stopped celebrating holidays in general. And I had to help her start doing it again, as much as her dad doesn't like it. In all honesty, I don't care what he likes or dislikes. After at the end of the day, my focus is on her. The only one I care about is her. So, and her well-being is going to come before any of her other family members does. So, and I know that her mom would want them to continue. And I don't want people to go through that. I mean, I can understand if it gets too much. And if it is too much, if it's one of those things that, your mom or anyone that you're close to that you lost was so much into Christmas, like, they were one of those people that just went far and beyond and it's too hard, that's fine. Take your time. Just do it small. There's a way to do this without jumping into it and causing yourself some more pain and mental health. Only you know what you can handle. But definitely do not quit doing those traditions. Even if you don't do everything that even if one year during Christmas you guys just set up the tree and decorate it. Well, that is probably the most important part when it comes to decorating for Christmas is the tree. As long as you do that, go from there. If you feel fine doing that and you want to put up some garland, if you guys are the type to put up garland, go for it. There's nothing wrong with doing baby steps. But if it's something, but if you love those traditions as much as that person did, keep doing it. That's my biggest advice I can give you guys is live, continue traditions, learn to rely on others, and don't be so cynical about the people in your life. Yes, you're gonna have thoughts during that person's, when you lose someone, you might have those thoughts like, man, I'm alone. No, you're not, because I'm not. And if you're going through something like that and you need someone to talk to, I don't mind talking to anyone about this because I understand completely. So, with that said, there's probably more I could say, but I feel like I recorded this video long enough. Anyways, guys, Until next time.